And yeah, and it makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Well, with that, welcome everybody to the Drop Culture Podcast. We are doing our continued series of dropping deuces. We're going to drop a little deuce, better known as Return of the Killer Tomatoes, tonight. I'm joined, as always, by...
My name is Brock.
By his name is Brock. And by...
Mitchell.
So we've gone through how many deuces so far?
We have dropped a lot of deuces, my friend. There are plumbing issues all over the place.
We've needed a lot of flushes.
Yes.
Started out, I think, with Chainsaw.
Chainsaw 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second number 2 was House 2. Third one was...
Phantasm 2.
Phantasm 2. Fourth one was... That was Conan the Destroyer.
Oh.
Now, this is our second to last one. If we don't do any more, we're not going to give up what our last one is because it is a drop culture staple for us.
It is?
We always reference this, the last movie in almost everything that we do. So
somehow, some way, whether we want to or not.
Yeah, it's our magnum opus movie.
And this is our first episode at our new studio.
Yes.
So
this is our first episode at the Drop Culture Podcast Studios in sunny Manitou Springs, Colorado.
And cold as hell, Manitou Springs, Colorado.
There's no sun out.
No.
First goddamn week of winter.
First week.
It's fucking cold outside.
Yeah, it is.
And if you listen to our quick cast this week, you already know that it was cold when we recorded. It's still going to be cold by the time.
That was a nice quote from Mac too. By
yeah,
the way.
I know. How it was first goddamn week of winter. I watched that movie last night, and I kept referencing that all night last night. First goddamn week of winter, and it was beautiful yesterday too. It was nice. It was like 80 degrees. Ran the air conditioner, and this morning I went outside to drive to the new Drop Culture Podcast Studios and was freezing my nuts off the whole time. It's just like, Jesus, where's the heater in my car? I don't know. I didn't turn it on. Save gas.
You got to wait for it to heat up.
Well, the worst.
That engine too cold, sir.
Yeah.
Engine too cold.
So this is our Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
This one is whenever you mentioned doing this one, Jesus Christ, it brought back so many memories of watching this. And the first time, and I think me and you probably watched the first broadcast at the same time in different parts of the country.
I would say you're probably correct.
Because it was on USA Up All Night. It was the first time.
All night.
Was it a Rhonda Shear at this point? I think so.
I think
it might have been a
so.
Gilbert Godfrey or it was a Rhonda
Yeah,
Shear.
I don't remember.
Either one of them, it was just like they made another Killer Tomatoes. Holy crap! Because my introduction to the whole Killer Tomatoes was through Morgan Stewart's Coming Home.
Yeah,
and that's the first time that I watched it. And then this one was out at about the same time I watched all that together.
We've made a new Attack of the Killer Tomatoes with 80% new things.
Yeah. God, they ran this whole freaking franchise into the ground because didn't they even have a cartoon? They had a TV show.
They did have a cartoon. I remember that.
They had everything, and it was just like,
I don't really remember
Lord.
the television show much.
No, not really.
But I do remember the cartoon. And then I didn't actually know they made a third movie.
I think they made 4.
Okay,
they did
well, I
one in
didn't know
France,
they made
too.
anything past. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, they were in France for some reason, which was fucking weird. And let's kind of go through. Let's do our normal thing where we kind of go through who directed everything like that with him. So it was directed by John DeBello. And John DeBello did not do a lot of stuff.
He
except
did
for
a lot of tomato movies.
Killer Tomatoes, everything. He was involved in every bit of it. He even starred in this one too.
Kind of like our Phantasm guy.
Yeah, exactly. Don Coscarelli.
Yeah.
But Coscarelli actually put out, quality stuff.
Like what he put out.
What are you saying?
The tomatoes is not quality. I'm sorry.
I know. I agree.
It was a great idea, and they made
Was it a great idea?
They made so much money off the first one, and as far as like cult status, it's there.
Right. No, for sure.
And to continue it was kind of I don't know why.
It was kind of why not?
Yeah, why not? They could do it.
And
Somebody
I'm
give
glad
them
they
money.
made Return of the Killer Tomatoes because I know it's cheesy, it's campy, but it is grand.
Yes, yes. And it was produced by Stephen Pace. Again, he did nothing but produce Killer Tomatoes stuff. Everybody involved in this movie, it's like they had a Killer Tomatoes warehouse where they just had old props and they just sat around and probably smoked a lot of weed and came up with a lot of stories for it. So it sounds cool. It's still written by John DeBello, Costa Dillon, Stephen Pace. It's
This one had some bigger actors in it, though.
at least one.
Well, two that I can think
Oh
of.
yeah. You're right too. But we'll get into the budget aspect of this too because it really didn't have a huge budget
Yes,
at all.
it did.
And didn't make a lot of money.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, the music again, Killer Tomatoes people. The cinematography, Killer Tomatoes people. Everything was Killer Tomatoes people. Everything about it. So if you ever want to delve more into it, you'll just find that they did nothing but Killer Tomatoes stuff.
Truth.
It's kind of funny. So this was released April 22nd, 1988. So it is officially how many years old?
31.
31.
You guys.
We did math this time. Holy shit. We actually did it. I can't see what the actual budget was for this, but the box office, it made $5 million. And I cannot see how it made $5 million. It had to have made that money in syndication. Somehow.
Honestly, yeah.
It's such a deuce. It really does, like, I don't know. There's just so many parts in this. It was a true testament to the late 80s movies anyway. I really think that it did exactly what everybody else was doing in 88, 89, except for Batman.
Well, I feel like there was, even earlier than that in the 80s, but that time period, that's where you got a lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was ski school, shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for me, I would say on the how many flushes this movie gets, I would say it's the full 5.
Yes.
full
This
5.
one was a very, very hard one to get down. I don't know how many times I've watched it, but at the same time, I don't know how many times I did not finish it while I was watching it.
I couldn't finish it.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I had a great time.
Yes. I will say, like, every like 15 minutes, I'd start questioning why I'm watching this, and then something funny would happen, and I'm like, damn it! All right, they got me again.
Well,
and that happened through the whole movie. They're just barely pulling me through.
Yeah. What was funny about it was on Tubi for the longest time, and then it ended up being on. We couldn't. They took it off of Tubi right before we were about to do this,
Right.
And then they put it on. It's on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, so you can watch the full movie on YouTube. So if you get a chance, just pop it in.
You know, a movie wasn't very successful when you can find the full movie on YouTube, and it's been on there this whole time.
And they're like, we don't care about
nobody's
it.
checking.
No.
Nobody's checking. I'm just saying.
It's got 13 views, and they're
Yeah.
all from us.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right.
Yes. Let's get into the cast for it. So, the principal actor in the whole movie was Anthony Stark. Or he is a character he played was Chad Finletter, which I guess is kind of a throwback to one of the original people in the movie, Wilbur Finletter. He really
it's his
didn't
nephew, right?
Yeah, he really didn't do a lot of stuff after this. I'm gonna leave the last couple of guys towards the end of this too.
I understand.
So we can kind of build up to the actual people that were in this.
Yep.
Karen M. Waldron, she played Tara. And she is kind of she's the main woman in this. She's the extra tomato girl or whatnot. She's the real tomato, as Devo would say.
Was she a big actress or?
No, not really. No,
this is like
no.
one hit wonder, or
most of them. She was
Okay.
close to everybody
Yeah.
in this.
Now,
George
here's a little tie back to another Deuce we did, though, because she was in Amazon Women, or Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death,
Jesus.
which also had Bill Maher, who was in House 2, playing himself douchebag.
There we go.
And not
6 Degrees of House 2 over here.
There's so many tie-ins, and she probably did a spread in Playboy too. God knows.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
probably.
know she was in Space Cowboys and I think she was in Baywatch.
Well, of course, that was a
Why
porno.
would you not
anyway.
be? Yeah.
Baywatch was.
She wasn't hard to look at.
Yeah. Steve Lundquist played Igor in this movie. Charlie Jones was a sportscaster. Stephen Pace was one of the original people in the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. He was the main hero in that one. He was the guy that carried around the parachute.
He was
for those
Wilbur,
jokes. Yeah. And the one running joke throughout the whole movie that he had a deployed parachute, but yet he didn't take off the backpack.
Yeah. He's just walking around with it on his back, pulling it around.
Yeah, I have no idea
And
why.
even when he changes into his outfit, not like that kind of fits with the first movie. But when he changes into his outfit in this movie and he's still got the parachute, I'm
Still
like,
there.
oh, okay.
Yeah, throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback.
They really like just went with whatever was there already. No, in the intro you see him because he's running and like all the tomatoes are getting caught in his like parachute, and
Yeah.
rolling around.
Yeah.
It was stupid but fun.
Of course, John DeBella was in it, the writer, director, producer, and star, because he was actually played the director in the movie,
Absolutely.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You really have not really anybody else that was in anything else. I cannot really have. This is a sad kind of a thing for me to not have any other notable movies for anybody.
Well, we got a couple that do have some notable movies in here.
So let's hit the first one.
First one.
John Astin.
John Astin was Gomez Adams.
Absolutely.
God, he was on so many different things. And plus he's Sean Astin's stepfather.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings. He is it Sean Astin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took on his name after, because God, Sean Astin's mother is really famous too. So
Really?
yeah, and she divorced her husband, then got together with John, and then he took on his last name after he adopted him. So it's like he considers him his real father and everything.
That's
God,
cool.
but he was in so much stuff. He
Oh
really
my
was.
god, yeah. I mean, Stranger Things recently.
Yeah, I know. I
know?
mean, yeah, it's been on.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know, right? Him, yeah,
Sean Astin,
yeah,
obviously.
but John, he's always done bit roles and all kinds of stuff. Like he was in The Frighteners. I don't know if you guys have.
His mom, by the way, was Patty Duke.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, she was on something. Yeah.
She had a
She was
show
on
called. She was on a bunch of movies, and she had a show when she was younger called the Patty Duke Show.
Yeah.
That I used to watch on like that not before it was Nick at Night, when Nickelodeon just showed
Nick
like
at Night.
old shows like that in the middle of
Oh,
the day, like
yeah.
at like 1 p.m. when nobody
Yeah.
was home anyways, except for me because I was sick. But I
Yeah.
wasn't really sick.
Yeah, because you were
Everybody
watching.
thought I was sick.
You wanted to see you. You can't do that on television. With barf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did tons of stuff. Now here we go. Here is the catalyst actor that springboarded this movie into the lexicon of everybody's mind and body and soul. This guy has only gone on to do a couple of things. One was ER.
Whoa, no, I was gonna say you're talking about the guy of Facts of Life and Roseanne fame, right?
Yeah, Roseanne.
You're talking about that guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's his most famous roles, right?
Yeah, kind of. You know,
Okay.
I mean,
In this.
that's where I know him from. Only, you know,
Sure,
in
yeah.
Budweiser.
I'm sure he
commercials.
did other things
Yeah,
after
commercials, whatever. He's only been on a couple of things. I think he owns his own like winery or whiskey or something like that.
Don't they all?
Centura whiskey or something.
You know somebody's a pretty good fan if they have picked up who this is already.
Well, do we need to say who it is?
I think we do.
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah.
It's George Clooney.
I would never have gotten it.
I know. With that laundry list of things. The
Of
only
accomplishments,
thing the
sir.
only thing that he didn't do is a Walker Texas Ranger episode.
Oh,
What?
That's the only thing.
that's
He
his
was in
failure
one?
in life.
He
I'm sure
missed
that's
out.
what he's thinking at home
He
with
totally-
his bazillion dollars. and
Totally
getting
missed
his-
out.
running his Nespresso to his friends or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Seriously.
him and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I don't know why.
And
I
yeah.
don't either.
Well, you guys got to watch. You got to watch that movie, Super Troopers 2.
Oh, I
They
have
have-
seen
they
it. I'm
have
sorry.
the whole
Oh my
Danny DeVito
god.
scene.
Yes.
Danny DeVito. How many other 132 centimeter actors do you know?
That is not Danny DeVito.
I have seen that clip. Yeah.
That's like the best part of that whole movie.
Well, it's cool. Now I don't have
I
to watch
know
it. But I will.
Danny DeVito. I
Yes.
fuck with him.
I know it is him. Yeah, we digress. Now, George Clooney went on to do a couple of things. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of famous, I guess.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, helped some other people do some things. I don't know.
I think he was on Sesame Street too once.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Probably,
You know, everybody.
probably the case.
Yeah, I think.
Was it at mullet wearing time or post mullet?
Post-mullet.
Post mullet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't-
him and
I
Matt
don't
Damon
remember.
did a skit. Matt
they
Damon
did?
was Elmo the Grouch.
Oh no! I'm surprised Jimmy Kimmel didn't get a call for that. No,
I know,
either way.
right? All right, let's get into this deuce of a movie. Now that you know the